An unwelcome guest. The manager of suites is wearing a grave expression. This is where we meet, was it like Ranjit or whatever? Ah, begging your pardons, miss, but do you perchance intend to head outside? If so, I would strongly advise you not to stray too far from the Crystarium. Word has it Yulmore has dispatched its military to Lakeland. Given the timing, one can only assume they do not welcome the return of night. Even now, the Exarch is in the Ocular, deliberating a response. I was thinking, because I think I didn't really get what the thinning of the ether was on the source. Like I didn't remember, but again with light it causes things to slow down. So I wonder if it's less of a thinning of ether and more of just ether coming to a standstill on the first. Because I was thinking of it again when. The Exarch was talking about. Oh.
You have come at a good time. As you may have heard, we have something of a quandary on our hands. Laxon Loft, here in Lakeland. Yulmore has sent one of its airships. They have questions for us concerning the death of the Light Warden. Their emissary makes his way here even as we speak.
I suppose the sky does rather give the game away.
Indeed. 'Twas inevitable they would come knocking. The only question was how soon.
Very soon, evidently.
My lord, I am come with the Yulmoren emissary. May I show him in?
A moment, Captain, if you would. Everyone, gather round. I do not wish to show our hand prematurely. Forgive me this liberty. Vanish. Enter.
Just wait for one of them to cough. Sneeze.
Well, well. The commander of the Yulmoren army himself. To what do I owe the honor, General Ranjit?
The Light Warden is dead, Exarch. Were your people responsible?
You are clearly in some haste, my lord. But before I address your question, you must allow me one of my own. What is Yulmore's interest in this?
His benevolence, Lord Vorthry, is gravely concerned that the actions of an ignorant few may jeopardize relations between man and Sin-Eater. Should it transpire that the Crystarium is guilty of abetting the villains responsible for this outrage, My lord has decreed that it suffer the same retribution.
I see. Since you have been so candid, I too shall speak my mind. Regardless of who is responsible, the Crystarium rejoices in the Light Warden's death and welcomes the return of the night sky. If Yulmore considers this tantamount to aiding those you term villains, then by all means, carry out your retribution. Know, however, that even should every innocent soul in the Crystarium perish, nothing can stop that which has been set in motion.
Folly. The death of one or 1,000,000 Sin-Eaters changes nothing. The world is dead, and writhe as we might, like maggots in its rotting course, it will not be reborn. Only by my master's grace may we live out our days in peace. But I waste my breath. You have made your stance clear. I shall relay your words to Lord Vorthry. In the meantime, you would do well to counsel any here who have done more than merely rejoice in recent events, to throw themselves upon Yulmore's mercy, promptly. One last matter. We are searching for a young artist and his assistant. Know you of whom I speak?
An artist and his assistant, no. I cannot say I do.
What a pity. Should they reveal themselves to you, I bid you hand them over at once. My master is most eager to see them again.
That would scare the hell out of me. If I was supposed to be invisible and dude looked straight at me.
Am I imagining things, or did he just stare straight at us?
I fear he did. The General is not a man to be trifled with. He is a warrior of fearsome repute who has led Yulmore's army since before Vorthry's time, when the nation still spearheaded the fight against the Sin-Eaters. One does not command the world's mightiest army, and for so long, without possessing exceptional instincts.
If Yulmore chose to send such an individual, we must assume this talk of retribution is more than an idle threat. While we are grateful for your support, my lord, we cannot in good conscience put your people in harm's way.
'Tis noble of you to say, Master Alphinaud, but my people have been in harm's way since long before you arrived. Yulmore has ever yearned to rule over what remains of the world. Even should we surrender the Warrior of Darkness to them, they would find some other pretext upon which to invade. The people of the Crystarium know this only too well, which is why, when the time comes, I am certain they will fight to the last man. If truth be told, I would not have been surprised had Ranjit declared war here and now.
He may have reason to delay. According to reports, the Yulmoran forces at Laxan Loft were observed taking a prisoner. A young woman believed to be none other than the Oracle of Light, Minifilia. It may be that General Ranjit wishes to convey her to Yulmore before commencing hostilities. Having mentored generations of Minfilias, it would not surprise me if he had made her capture his chief concern.
Yeah, generations of Minfilias. I'm trying to remember the first time I played that, and it's just, it had to have confused me. I'm sorry, generations of Minfilias? I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind this time around, so.
Ah, of course. How remiss of me. I had intended to speak to you of Minifilia. There is, however, much to say, and precious little time in which to say it. I think it best that you seek out Moren at the Cabinet of Curiosity. He'll be able to enlighten you. Alphino, Alize, would you care to accompany your friend? You doubtless have insights of your own to offer on the matter.
All right, though I'm still not sure I understand it all myself.
In the meantime, I will set about making provisions for war.
I look forward to seeing some of the, newer players' reactions to some of this stuff. I mean, obviously, like Minifilia, they're just going to go like, wait, what? Although a lot of them tend to watch the trailers before getting into the content, and they'll probably have that moment in the trailer. Like, I didn't react to any of the trailers or whatever, because I've watched those many, many, many times. So, whereas, all of this stuff I've only done once, each of the expansions or whatever. And again, some of them was, 6-8 years ago. So, it was almost like new to me in many respects, but obviously because Shadowbringers is more recent, it's a bit less so. But even then, I had only ever done it once. But yeah, the trailers I've watched. I mean, I've watched it myself, many times, and then I've watched other people react to it. We will continue to watch the Yulmorans. If Minifilia has indeed been captured, I dare say we will see another familiar face anon. But first things first. Pray seek out Moren at the Cabinet of Curiosity. Whatever you think Moren's going to tell you about Minifilia, it won't be what you're expecting. Just trust me. It seems an age since we bade Minifilia farewell. Yeah, I don't even know what time would have been like for her. Because we last saw her, maybe at most a couple months ago? But then, since her appearance on the first, it's been 100 years. Yes? If you're after books pertaining to the Warrior of Darkness, I'm afraid most are out on loan at present. They are experiencing quite a surge in popularity. Oh, you wish to learn about the Oracle of Light? Then it would be my pleasure to assist. After I have finished off some few outstanding tasks, that is. While I attend to them, perhaps you could fetch me a book. The Illuminated Tale of the Oracle of Light, it's called. Though it's intended for younger readers, he keeps giving us children's books because they've got pretty pictures. It provides an excellent summary of the subject matter, and the artwork is quite lovely besides. I would not hesitate to recommend it to anyone with an interest in learning about Minifilia. But you must see for yourself. The book should be located on the level below. Should, I say. For while there is a place for everything here, not everything is always in its place, despite my best efforts. In short, if the book is not where it should be, it will almost certainly be somewhere it shouldn't. So, good luck. The book does not appear to be here. No luck as yet. The book does not appear to be here. Is there a stepladder we can borrow? Just as your eyes begin to blur, they finally come to rest on a copy of the Illustrated Tale of the Oracle of Light. I think I said the Illuminated Tale before. At least that's what I was expecting, and then I saw Illustrated. I was like, wait a minute, I think I read it wrong. Have you found the book? The Illustrated Tale of the Oracle of Light. Intended for young readers, this tome features winsome featuring winsome illustrations tells the tale. God. Illustrations tells the beloved tale of the Oracle of Light. My reading is just horrendous tonight. Yes, this is the one. I hope it wasn't too difficult to track down. I'm happy to say I've finished all my pressing tasks. If you want to call your friends over, we can begin learning at once. We can begin story time at once. Everybody sits down, cross-legged, in front of him. Without further ado, then. It began 100 years ago when the flood of light threatened to swallow Norvrent. Just as all seemed lost, a savior appeared who halted the all-consuming radiance. A maiden with hair of spun gold and eyes of clearest sapphire. Naught was known about her save that her name was Minifilia, and for delivering the realm, she came to be revered as the Oracle of Light. After stopping the flood, the mysterious maiden vanished without a trace, but 15 years later, her name would unexpectedly reappear in the annals of history. Oh, that's cute. Well, I mean, she is. The rest of the stuff around it is horrifying. When Sin Eaters laid ruin to the kingdom of Verbert, a young girl was discovered who was immune to the creature's blighted touch. One with hair of spun gold and eyes of clearest sapphire, she was hailed as the Oracle Reborn, and came to likewise be called Minifilia. Enlisting in the Ulmoran army, this Minifilia fought and vanquished countless Sin Eaters. Oh. Alas, like so many other soldiers, she eventually met her end in battle. Yet with her dying breath, she whispered unto her grieving comrades, Minifilia will return. And true to her words, some years later, another young girl was discovered who possessed the selfsame eyes, that selfsame hair, and those selfsame powers. So she too took the name Minifilia. She too fought Sin Eaters as a soldier of Ulmor, and she too fell in battle. Many more were to follow in her footsteps, and so the cycle continues to this day. I mean, they say many more, but how many more could there have been in 100 years? You know, because to become old enough to even be able to fight, there couldn't have been... I mean, you could still have maybe 6 or 7 in that time. I mean, I guess you would count that as many more. And that concludes the tale. By their valor and sacrifice, these women have saved Norvrent on numerous occasions. And were it not for them, we might never have learned of the Light Wardens and their nature. They sound like formidable warriors. Some, perhaps. The truth is rather less simple. Though the Oracle is reborn with certain common traits, she does not inherit the memories or the knowledge of her previous incarnations. All of the Minfilias thus far were discovered as ordinary girls, unversed in the ways of war and ignorant of the power they harbored. While some embraced their fate and devoted themselves to training, others did not, but all were made to face the Sin Eaters, and all died to keep our hopes alive. What can you tell us of the current Minifilia? She was found by the Ulmoran army some 10 years ago and taken into their care. Or rather their custody. She was a prisoner in all but name. For by that time, under Lord Vothry's rule, Ulmor had already abandoned resistance in favor of decadence. Minifilia was an uncomfortable reminder of the war they no longer wished to fight. A potential threat to the peace, and so they kept her under lock and key. For a long while, we heard nothing more of her. We couldn't even be certain she was alive, save that it was in the Ulmorans' best interest for her to remain under their control. But then, 3 years ago, a gallant soul stole into the city and rescued her from their clutches, just like a hero from the tales. Indeed. Well, I believe we now have a good grasp of Minfilia's tale. Thank you for your time, Morin. Might I trouble you for a word, Lavenza? Outside? It's interesting how they chose to very briefly tell the story of what happened in the past on the first, at least so far as concerning Thancred and Urianger and Y'shtola. In some degree, you know, with obviously Thancred rescuing Minifilia and then I mean, we at least know that Y'shtola was in Raktika when it was attacked or whatever. It's just interesting to think of, and like what in the Endwalker trailer, you know, could be in the same vein. This seems a suitable place for a chat. As you will have already surmised, the gallant soul who rescued Minifilia was none other than our own dear Thancred. They have since been wandering the land together, never remaining in one place for long, which is why we have not yet had a chance to meet them. We know that Minifilia journeyed here as Hydaelyn's emissary to halt the flood of light. It could only be her that the people of the First witnessed 100 years ago, the original Oracle of Light. But while there's plainly some connection between the woman we knew and her namesakes, the fact that these girls do not share her memories must surely mean they are not the same person. Thancred has to understand that. I have no doubt that he understands. The question is how he feels. Regardless, the Thancred we know would not forsake his charge. If she has been captured, we may be certain he will not stand idly by. There you go again, talking in your roundabout way. If you think we should rescue Minifilia, just spit it out. It just so happens I agree with you. It's quite clear that this Minifilia possesses Hydaelyn's blessing. And it wouldn't hurt to have a second such individual on our side. Right, Lavenza? Well, you say quite. One's generally been enough, but fine. Yeah, I'm going to go with quite. I see you've made up your minds. Exarch, what brings you here? A report and a proposal. First, the report. Our scouts have confirmed that the Yulmoran forces at Laxan Loft do indeed have Minifilia in their custody. For the present, they are holding her there, but we can be certain they will move her to Yulmore ere long. Should that happen, we may be forced to give her up as lost. So if we mean to act, we should do so quickly. Which brings me to my proposal. I ask that you entrust this undertaking to us, the people of the Crystarium. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight, as you could expect, was amazing. Shadowbringers, I'm pretty sure just all of these are going to start with, it was amazing, it was spectacular, just because it's Shadowbringers. But yeah, we got a lot done, and we just entered into Ilmeg, which is one of my favorite zones from the expansion, so I look forward to doing that on the next stream. I do want to thank Smokin' Hot Ginger, a regular of mine, semi-regular of mine, for raiding the channel tonight. Obviously, I'm still a very small streamer, and any support I can get is much, much appreciated. So I just wanted to give them a shout out, and maybe check them out as well. I gotta share the love. But yeah, again, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And like Smokin' Hot Ginger, please come join live. The link to my Twitch is in the description down below. So, and the schedule is on the page, but it's Tuesdays through Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. currently. Who knows what it'll be eventually, but as of the recording of this, that's the schedule. So, as I said, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a good one.